Stephen A., she is as polished as a basketball player as that we've seen at the women's level.
Yo, man, we should be talking about her the way we talked about Caitlin Clark last year. JuJu
Absolutely.
JuJu special. I'm telling you that right now. She is the package. And she's gonna be special.
All right, folks, we need to talk. Stephen A. Smith has stepped into the realm of women's basketball again, and surprise, surprise, he's stirring the pot. He's suggesting that JuJu Watkins should be discussed in the same breath as Caitlin Clark was last year. Now, don't get me wrong, JuJu is an incredible talent, but Stephen A., you're missing the mark on this one, and here's why. Caitlin Clark led Iowa to back-to-back NCAAW championship games, shattered records we thought were untouchable, and turned women's basketball into must-see TV. JuJu, as phenomenal as she is still just a sophomore finding her rhythm in college basketball. So why are we forcing this comparison? Is it about elevating JuJu, or is it about the media's incessant need to spotlight the next big thing? Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why these comparisons aren't just unfair. They're detrimental to the growth of the game itself. Let's start with Caitlin Clark. What she did last season wasn't just dominant, it was generational. Caitlin averaged a staggering 31.6 points, 8.9 assists, and 7.4 rebounds per game. And let's not forget, she wasn't padding these numbers against weak competition. She was doing it against the best teams in the country. Her 41-point performance against South Carolina in the Final Four. That wasn't just a game, it was a moment. Caitlin became the first player in NCAA history, male or female, to record back-to-back 40-point triple-doubles in the tournament. She turned basketball into must-see TV, drawing millions of viewers who had never watched women's basketball before. Caitlin's rise wasn't hyped, it was organic. Her gameplay did all the talking. She didn't need forced comparisons or media campaigns. Every logo three, every no-look assist, every clutch shot made people fall in love with her. She wasn't the next anyone, she was Caitlin Clark. Now let's talk about JuJu Watkins, because she's having an outstanding sophomore season at USC. JuJu is averaging 24.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.4 steals per game. She's shooting an efficient 46.2% from the field and 36.5% from three. For a sophomore, those are incredible numbers. JuJu's ability to score from anywhere on the court, combined with her defensive intensity, makes her a dynamic two-way player. And let's not forget, she's already breaking records, like her 32-point debut against Ohio State. JuJu is the real deal, but here's the thing, she's still building her legacy. Let's talk about the numbers, the hard facts that show just how much of a game changer Caitlin Clark was when it came to drawing massive audiences. Caitlin didn't just elevate Iowa basketball, she elevated the entire sport of women's basketball to unprecedented levels of attention. For instance, her final regular season game against Ohio State on March 3rd, 2024, averaged 3.39 million viewers on Fox, peaking at 4.42 million. This made it the most watched women's regular season game on any network since 1999. Now let's compare that to the most watched game of the current season so far, USC versus UConn. That matchup, featuring JuJu Watkins, Paige Beckers, pulled in 2.23 million viewers on Fox, peaking at 3.76 million during the game's most intense moments. While those are fantastic numbers, some of the best we've seen for a regular season game, they don't come close to what Caitlin was able to achieve consistently during her collegiate career. And this isn't a knock on JuJu, Paige, or any of the incredible players in today's game. Their star power is undeniable, and they're drawing well-deserved attention to women's basketball. But Caitlin Clark? She's in a league of her own when it comes to captivating a national audience. Caitlin's appeal in college wasn't just about her scoring, although dropping 41 points in the Final Four back in 2023 certainly helped. It was the way she played, her swagger, her deep three-pointers, her no-look passes. She had the rare ability to make every single possession feel like must-see TV. The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark wasn't just drawing basketball fans, she was drawing people who had never watched women's basketball before. Her performances were cultural events, moments that transcended the sport itself. So while we celebrate the rising college stars of today, it's important to recognize that Caitlin Clark's ability to draw viewers to women's basketball is truly historic. Games like USC versus UConn remind us how much interest there is in the sport, but they also underscore just how special Caitlin's run in college was. Comparing JuJu in her sophomore year to Caitlin just makes no sense. It's like comparing a spark to a roaring fire. One has the potential to grow, but the other has already lit up the world. Caitlin's numbers came at the peak of her collegiate career after years of growth. JuJu is just getting started, and she deserves the time and space to create her own story. Here's something we need to talk about: the difference between organic stardom and manufactured hype. When Caitlin Clark rose to prominence, it wasn't because anyone labeled her the next big thing before she earned it. It was because her play on the court was undeniable. Every highlight, every record-breaking stat, every clutch performance, fans couldn't help but pay attention. And here's why that matters. Organic stardom builds a deeper, more authentic connection with fans. People love Caitlin because her journey felt real. We watched her grind it out at Iowa, taking her team from good to great and proving herself every step of the way. Nobody had to sell her story. It sold itself. Now compare that to when the media tries to manufacture hype. How many times have we seen it backfire? Think about players who were crowned the next Michael Jordan before they even played a full NBA season. The weight of those expectations crushed more than a few promising careers. JuJu Watkins is a phenomenal player, but trying to force her into the Caitlin Clark narrative isn't helping her. It's setting her up to be scrutinized for every missed shot, every mistake, and every time she doesn't live up to this impossible standard. That's not fair to JuJu, and it's not fair to the game. The beauty of sports is in the journey, the rise to greatness, not just the destination. So let's allow JuJu to have her own rise, her own moments, and her own story that captures the hearts of fans the way Caitlin's did. Greatness doesn't need to be forced. It needs time to grow. Now, let's talk about the incredible depth of talent in women's basketball right now. JuJu isn't the only rising star, far from it. Take Hannah Hidalgo, for example. The Notre Dame guard is averaging 25.8 points, 6.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and an insane 4.3 steals per game while shooting nearly 50% from the field. Her defensive intensity is unmatched, and she's already making a case for being one of the best all-around players in college basketball. Then there's Paige Beckers at UConn, who's proving she's still one of the game's elite. Paige is putting up 20.8 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game, shooting an impressive 56.3% from the field and 41.7% from deep. She's a game changer every time she steps on the court. And let's not forget Olivia Miles, another Notre Dame standout. Olivia is averaging 17.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 6.7 assists while shooting a blistering 56.8% from the field and an eye-popping 50% from three. She's as versatile as they come. We've also got Hailey Van Lith, now at TCU, who's averaging 19.1 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. Her leadership and court vision make her one of the most complete guards in the country. And then there's Kiki at USC, who's putting up 18.5 points and 9.3 rebounds per game while shooting 52.5% from the field. Her dominance in the paint makes her a nightmare matchup for any team. Finally, Tahina Pow at South Carolina is averaging 11.3 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 2.4 assists while shooting 49.1% from the field and 42.9% from three. Her efficiency and sharp shooting make her a key piece for the Gamecocks. So like I said, comparing JuJu to Caitlin right now, it sets her up for unrealistic expectations. Caitlin Clark didn't become Caitlin Clark overnight. Her senior year was the culmination of years of hard work and development. JuJu is still in the early stages of her journey. Comparing her to someone who's already cemented their place in history isn't just unfair. It's counterproductive. It puts unnecessary pressure on JuJu and overshadows her unique talents and potential. The beauty of women's basketball right now is its range of talent. JuJu, Paige, Olivia, Hannah, Hailey, Kiki, they're all incredible in their own ways. We don't need to force comparisons to appreciate their greatness. Caitlin Clark's senior season wasn't just one of the best in women's college basketball history. It's one of the best in all of college basketball history. Period. And JuJu Watkins, she's well on her way to greatness, but let's let her story unfold naturally. Because when it's her time, and trust me, it will be, she's gonna redefine what we think is possible, just like Caitlin did. Yo, Stephen A., I respect your passion, but this time, you're doing too much. Let's stop forcing these narratives and let the greatness of these athletes shine on their own terms. So here's where I leave it to you. Do you think JuJu Watkins is ready to be in this conversation, or should we let her take her time? And how do you feel about Caitlin Clark's place in basketball history? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and let's have the conversation. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one player. It's about celebrating the incredible game of basketball and the players who are taking it to heights we've never seen before. Women's basketball is thriving, and the best part, they're just getting started. Let's keep watching, supporting, and talking about it, because the future of this sport is something you don't want to miss.